told to their daughters. It started with listening to the news. It started in silence. It started in unspoken dialects. It started without violence. It started with a vision. When mankind was asleep, it started creeping into dream time and wrapping around our feet with the tenacity of bindweed. It started to unite us, to rewrite the pathology learnt in our childhood. It started a new mythology, a new awareness that the biosphere is shared. People started to care, they started to look for solutions. It started a revolution. It ended pollution, ended oppression, ended the perception that human nature's cruel and survival of the fittest, but every man for himself. It ended poverty and wealth, it ended war. And there were those who believed it would end with a big bang, and those who believed there was no end to the damage done by man, but the truth was it ended. The way it all began. Shrank back into the earth, refertilized the soil, and prepared the ground for the future. It ended the way all things ceased to grow.
Wow. I cannot tell you how incredible this feels. Julianne and I and everyone who's about to walk onto the stage, we have poured our heart and soul into the last few months into creating this rebellion. It means so very much to every single one of us, and I know it means so much to every single one of you, and to see all of these people standing in front of me and know that they stand with us and that we stand together against... Thank you so much! I arrived onto the site with all of you and our boat walking behind us, and I just burst into tears because to know that all of you have come out to support what we all believe in, to know that you will take a stand for my future, for our future, for everyone's future. I just love all of you. I don't know what else to say, but just thank you. Like, I guess it's important to acknowledge that none of us should have to be here. I shouldn't have to be here. I'm 20. I should be in college. I should be figuring out what I want to do with my future, or what I do want to do with my life, and instead I am fighting to have a future. How is that fair? How dare our politicians lie and pretend that they care, and then allow Shannon LNG to be built? How fucking dare they? Excuse my language. Our lives are on the line, and I know that you all know this, and our job is to make everyone know this. Because when you know what we are facing, the destruction that we are facing, the loss that we are facing, and the loss that is happening right now, I don't think you can do anything except rebel. So, just one last time, welcome to Rebellion Week. Thank you so much. Hello.
I just want everyone to look to the person beside you and give them a massive hug. Give them a massive hug, because it's hard. It's hard to stand up for what you believe in sometimes. It can be hard to face this head on because it is so dark and so depressing. So everyone here today, you are even braver than you realize. We're standing up against governments and corporations which are serving us a death sentence. They're serving your children a death sentence. How can we accept that the top 100 companies have caused 71% of the world's carbon emissions since 1988. That's why we're here. Extinction Rebellion is a movement of all different kind of people, and this is a movement where everyone is welcome. And this week, we will be shutting down this area of Dublin and other areas too. We don't want to be disruptive. We don't want to do this, but we've been left with no other choice. We don't want to hear about your climate action plans when they don't mean anything. We don't want a fake green economy that is actually just based on constant greed. And when they say to us, oh, you're only talking about degrowth. What growth? It's only the 1% who are benefiting from this anyway. And this is happening all around the world. People are rising up, but they have been rising up for years. Indigenous activists have been murdered for years, but something is changing. People are no longer accepting this. There's energy in this, and the reason that energy is there is because we actually don't have a choice. We have no choice. It's 11 years left before we cause irreversible damage. And not to get too dark, but what does that really mean? That means floods, wildfires, food scarcity, the risk of social collapse. Like, just take a few seconds to think about what that means. And then take another second to remember why you're here. And this might be one of the most important moments in human history. Thanks.
So we've got a few more speeches coming up and a little bit of a ceremony happening, but before we do that, can I ask everybody just to turn around and have a look at the boat, because the mast is going to go on. Thank you so much to the guys in the boat, the amazing crew who just got the mast up for us and brought us a boat and brought it here to Dublin and painted it pink and did everything. So we all know why we're here. We're here because we have to be here. We're here because we know we need to make a difference. We know there's things that we need to do and they have to be done now. We can't wait any longer. We can't go on. Another thing I think we can remember is that we really can make a difference. And it's easy to believe that it's like the world out there is too big, it's bigger than us, and there's so much going on out there that we haven't got control of. And I think it's good to remember that every change that's ever happened has come about through people power, through people really pushing to make a difference about things they care about. Now, we've seen huge changes in things in Ireland recently, things like the gay marriage referendum and abortion, the repeal movement. Things that have changed have become kind of a complete difference in government policy that's come about through people pushing to make change. So we know that we've done things like that here in this country. We have the power in this country. We know we can do it. And you know, it's really important to kind of remember that when we're facing something huge, and it does seem huge. I mean, we're facing up against big corporations who have obviously a lot of power. They have a lot of economic weight and everything behind them. And it can seem like, you know, we're just very small people kind of battling against something like that. An example I always think that's worth looking at is slavery. I think there's a lot of correlations with that. I mean, that was another huge thing in the past where big corporations, well, not corporations, but the people who had money and power at the time were the people who wanted to keep slavery. They were in all their best interest to do that. And people kind of stood up against that and said, no, this isn't right. And they did actually make the change. Those things that seemed completely normal to people at that time now seem like crazy. Like anybody could ever have thought that it was natural and normal for people to own other people and to have slaves. And I think we need to move people's opinion in that way on subjects like climate change, on the environment, about caring for our planet. I mean, at the moment we're living in this system where people believe that economic power is what's most important. Everything's run around money. And we're here, we know that that's not the way things should be. And we need to get to the point where our survival and living within the boundaries of the planet are seen as more important than money. And that seems so fundamental to us, to everybody here. I think it's important to remember that we can make these shifts in people's consciousness the same way that people change their minds about slavery being normal to being something that's now absolutely unthinkable. We can make these shifts, we can push people to start thinking in new ways. Things that were believed to be completely normal in the past now seem ridiculous and unthinkable. And we can do the same thing. We can change people's opinions. We can change the way society functions. Every movement that's done that in the past has started off in ways similar to this, with people just saying, like, we're not accepting this anymore. We have right on our side. We have everything that we need on our side. I don't see how we can really lose.
It's really, really great to see everyone here today and to actually just sense that this is a worldwide movement. Less than a year ago, Extinction Rebellion was not formally launched. And now look, 60 countries around the world, people recognizing that this beautiful thing that we call life is under threat. But so I'm really feeling two things strongly. I'm feeling grief. I'm feeling actually awareness that, like, the future I want to have for my children. And I have to hold that. I can't I can celebrate, but I have to, at the same time, have to actually face that grief. I don't know how things are going to go. I can look that threat square in the eye and go, that's the human condition. I do not know if we're going to survive. I know there's huge barriers and huge obstacles. Governments doing versions of business as usual. And this is the thing which we have to stand up to, which we have to extract ourselves from and say, absolutely not in our name. And at the same time, we need to also celebrate and go, wow, look at all these other people actually recognizing how beautiful life is, how this is our shared home, how there's no difference between us. To revolutionize our lives. 7.6 million children children and adults rose up on September the 20th. So we hit tipping points, but we also hit tipping points in people's awareness. When I consider how I saw the world a year ago, I loved life, I did protect, I was an activist, but I didn't actually connect to how urgent this crisis is. I don't know how many people really did. To actually going, actually, this may not just be a little bit bad. We could not overstate how bad this crisis is. We talk about tipping points, we talk about ocean acidification, we talk about Siberian permafrost, melting methane burps. We are risking absolutely everything, just gambling with it because it feels too difficult to change course. It would be politically unpopular. So we need to, as we know, and this is what we are here for, we are here to in every way extract ourselves from that system, say, we know you have a hard job to do, but we are here to say absolutely no. Everybody says it, civil disobedience is the thing that throughout history has caused rapid shifts. We have to believe that's possible, with love and with rage, as they say in Extinction Rebellion. So let's see what happens. Let's give it absolutely everything we have with love and rage. Thank you.
Thanks everybody. I'm not going to keep you long because we have some amazing speakers here for our opening ceremony. I would just like to thank you all so much. I would like to just point out this whole setup has been done with no funding. It's been done out of sheer love, sheer willpower, sheer determination and sheer solidarity. So thank you so much to everybody who has helped us. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So. Also, in the park we have amazing region and kids activities and talks and trainings going on, so please make use of them. They're great, they're free, so please make your way in there whenever you can. I haven't anything else to say really, because everyone has said it so eloquently and there's more great speakers to come. Just thank you so much, and I'll end with my favourite quote from the Air Keep. It's time to put away our fairy tales, all of them, and accept the adult responsibility that comes with adult knowledge. Our planet needs us. She needs us to think like warriors and act like healers. And if you think that's a contradiction, then get out of the way.